Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Oh yeah, it's done. Finally, a 3-year budget has finally passed the House of Representatives. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? It really just depends on the government that's in place. Now we're going to see Maliki and his people's true colors come out. The budget has been passed. They don't have to kiss anybody's butt. They're in control of how the money is allocated. This is definitely going to be interesting. And this is what I've been waiting for. Let's see this government's true colors. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so. Because when you do, it helps out the channel. And I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold, silver, or any other precious metals, head on over to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description, or just type in www.moneymetals.com/Pimpy. If you make a purchase when you follow that link, you will automatically be entered for a chance to win 10 free silver ounces. So get started today, and hopefully your stack will start to look like this real soon. So head on over, tell them Pimpy sent you. You can follow me over on other platforms. I do have my own group over on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So head on over here and join us. It's free to do so. In here, I do post updates. If I should get on suspension from YouTube or get removed from YouTube and you want to know what happened to me, I'll let you know right here in this group. I can be found on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and the cool thing about YouTube, if you come over here and you join and you find my channel, I got videos going back, I believe, a couple years. So if you want to see some older videos that I have on Nasera Jacera, gold, silver, cryptos, come on over here and join. Look me up and check out my videos. You can also find me on Odyssey. Catch me on Rumble. When I say that the links for all these are down below in the description, some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. Just go down to the bottom right here of any of my videos. See this? This is the description. Hit show more. And there are all the links to all the platforms I just spoke about. So if you do want to head on over to Money Metals, just click it. And there you are. So come on over. Join us. I look forward to having you. Alrighty, here we go. Parliament passes the entire largest budget, unprecedented version since 2003. Says the House at dawn on Monday passed the entire 3-year budget law, and a first of a kind after days of sessions that saw sharp debates and many bumps. The council voted on Article 15, which included thousands of job grades, as the last controversial article to fold the budget file until 2026. We'll talk a little bit more about that in detail, and you'll understand what the holdup was. In the aftermath, Second Deputy Speaker Mandelawi said that the current budget is the most important amongst the previous budgets, as it is for 3 fiscal years and linked to the government program and meets the aspirations of the people. To the Iraqi people, the adoption of the federal budget law for the fiscal years 2023, 24, and 25, praising the great efforts of the Parliamentary Finance Committee in moderating the paragraphs of the law and including the rights of the citizens. Thinking at the same time the keenness of the ladies and gentlemen of the deputies in passing the budget, goes on to say that he stressed that the legislative and executive authorities were keen to resolve the file of electors and administrators, install contracts, the rest of the categories, and the invalidity of the popular crowd, guaranteeing the pension rights of deceased contractors who were not installed because they reached the legal age, and absorb large segments of society by creating job grades to appoint graduates into governance and include sufficient financial allocations for them. Said the current budget focused on reducing spending and increasing non-oil revenues to maximize state revenues, as well as support the farmers by using modern irrigation systems, implementing services and strategic projects, establishing a reconstruction fund for the poorest governance, with the aim of balancing development and improving the reality, in addition to granting sufficient allocations to provide the requirements of the Ministry of Electricity and the ration cards, securing the necessary amounts for the continuation of work of oil companies, conducting necessary transfers, and supporting the dissemination of scientific research within global levels. Basically, it's all the same kind of fluff you get anytime the politicians successfully pass something. They're too busy breaking their arms, patting themselves on the back, but in Iraq's case, they should probably do that, okay? Okay, this article I'm not too thrilled about. Trade Bank of Iraq and JP Morgan discuss developing banking operations. Said the parties deliberated on the long practical relations between the two banks and the ways to develop the mechanisms of banking operations in general implemented by the Iraqi Trade Bank through JP Morgan Bank. So the Iraqi Trade Bank is working through JP Morgan. The more they keep tangling their operations with the United States, then the more they really have to listen to what the U.S. wants, or else I don't trust JP Morgan to do anything. They're corrupt as all hell. It says our bank seeks to provide all facilities for foreign trade financing operations, in addition to supporting and developing industrial and service projects and providing banking services to government institutions and private sector companies in support of the directives of the Prime Minister Sudani to advance the country's economy and to provide the best services to the Iraqi citizens according to the best available methods and means and within international standards, which reflects positively on the Iraqi economy. I think what it is, JP Morgan's trying to make sure that they help and get their ducks in a row with the banking system just so they can monitor Iraq a little bit closer. So it looks like Iraq has passed this budget despite the input from the International Monetary Fund. Iraq approves record $153 billion budget, including big public hiring. Iraq's parliament on Monday approved the 2023 budget of $198.9 trillion, $153 billion. That sets out record spending on a growing public wage bill and development projects to improve services and rebuild infrastructure ruined by neglect and war. Now, I didn't have a problem with that part. This is going to provide much needed jobs for the Iraqi people, especially the youth, so I didn't see an issue with it. It says the budget deficit is estimated at a record $64.36 trillion, more than double the last budget deficit of 2021, according to a budget document and lawmakers. What they're not being very clear about in here is, does that 64.36 trillion Iraqi dinars represent all 3 years or just 1 year? The budget is based on oil prices of $70 per barrel and projects oil exports at 3.5 million barrels per day, including 400,000 barrels per day from semi-autonomous Kurdistan region. So that's one of the things I was concerned about, that they had set the oil per barrel at a pretty high level. And if for whatever reason the demand for oil should drop, then Iraq is going to be screwed over big time. 95% of their budget comes from oil sales. And if the demand for oil goes down, I don't know what Iraq's going to do. So there was a change to the exchange rate. Yes, you heard it. They changed the Iraqi exchange rate. Sure enough, it was in there. And yes, it went in the right direction. Said the budget set the exchange rate for oil revenues in U.S. dollars at 1,300 dinars per dollar. All right, so we shaved another 20 dinars off the exchange rate. Now, I know 20 dinars is not that big of a deal, but anytime we're taking a step in that direction, I'm going to celebrate it no matter how small it is, as long as they keep moving in that direction. Keep removing the amount of dinars you get per dollar. That's what we want. It says it will remain valid through 2025, so they're saying that is going to be the exchange rate from now until the end of 2025. Or does it? Though it is subject to amendments, there you go. According to the oil price it uses, given its near total dependence on oil revenues. They have the right to amend the exchange rate as well as the price per barrel as it pertains to the budgets. The budget added more than 500,000 new public sector workers, hiring that flies in the face of the recommendations of many observers who say Iraq should tighten fiscal policy. Why would so-called observers have an issue with Iraq spending money to hire people? Is it because of this whole World Economic Forum? Remember, they're supposed to make everybody more poor, and you can't make people poor if you keep giving them jobs and taking them off the reliance of the government. It says a member of Parliament's Financial Committee told Reuters ahead of the session more than 1 million new workers were added, including contractors, daily employees, and full-time staff. 1 million new jobs were created, and that's supposed to be a bad thing for Iraq? I don't think so. So Ahmed, a visiting fellow at the London School of Economics Middle East Center, put the figure of new employees at about 600,000. Well, that's a huge difference in numbers, which he said would raise the total cost of public wages and pensions to more than 58 billion or 76 trillion dinars. The more you increase this kind of spending, the more you increase your vulnerability. I understand what he's saying, but the spending is going towards the creation of new jobs. So that shouldn't be a bad thing. The oil price has to go higher and higher just to sustain spending, which is crippling and will lead to more and more borrowing, he said. The International Monetary Fund on May the 31st said the increasing public wage bill would contribute to mounting deficit and financial pressure, barring a big increase in oil prices. While OPEC just had a meeting recently and they decided to reduce the amount of oil being produced over 1 million barrels per day, and that is going to continue all the way through next year, which will drive the cost of oil up as well as our gas prices. So they appear to be taking the proper steps. It says to break even, Iraq required an oil price of $96 per barrel, it said, while the price averaged 71.3 in May. A significantly tighter fiscal policy is needed to strengthen resilience and reduce the government's dependence on oil revenues while safeguarding critical social spending needs, the IMF said. Anything coming from the IMF, I don't care to hear. Seriously. The Iraqi people need jobs. So how is this a bad thing? Again, I can't stress this enough. It's the issue that the World Economic Forum wants everybody as poor as possible so that you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. It's kind of hard to own nothing if you're giving people jobs. Iraq's budgets are supposed to be adopted before the beginning of the year they cover, but are frequently delayed and not passed at all due to instability and political disputes. So the country has one of the fastest growing populations in the world, projected to double from 43 million to about 80 million by 2050. While most of the economy is state-led, with high unemployment and frequent protests over various discontent. So right there, they just proved the point why it is you needed to do whatever you can to create jobs. So what is the issue? The budget takes steps to address long-standing issues between Iraq and the semi-autonomous Kurdistan region, with its oil revenue set to be deposited in the account overseen by the Iraqi Central Bank. That's a good thing. Baghdad previously had no say over Kurdistan's expenditures of oil revenues, with Kurdistan unilaterally exporting crude to Turkey despite Baghdad's objections. But Kurdish officials were forced to negotiate with Baghdad after Turkey halted crude exports in April, when the international arbitration ruling deemed them unlawful. Under this agreement signed by Baghdad and Erbil in April, Iraq's state-run marketing company SOMO will have the authority to market and export crude oil produced from the fields controlled by Kurdistan region. The flows have not resumed despite Baghdad asking for it to happen. So you can see right there, the budget is now set at 1,300 dinars for every $1. Yes, I know it's a very small, minute difference, but at least it's going in the right direction. Like I said, it's going to happen in increments. Hopefully a much bigger step next time, but I'll take it. So with Iraq using their budget to create jobs, and they've already established a million new positions, and IMF is having a fit. On the one hand, I understand them saying they have to be physically disciplined this time around and not waste your money spending it willy-nilly, and they have to deal with the corruption that they've been dealing with. I get that. But if the money is going towards hiring Iraqi people so they can get off government-assisted programs, and they're out there making their own money, and you're increasing the amount of non-oil revenue, then I don't understand the issue. I really don't. I don't trust the IMF. I don't trust the World Bank, and they're all in cahoots with the World Economic Forum, so screw them. Anyways, that's it for now, you guys. You can see the budget has been passed, so we're happy about that. The actual exchange rate has increased. It's still a win for us, man. Take the W and be happy with it. Yes, I understand it's only 20 dinars. That's worth about a fraction of a cent, if that. But at least it's a reduction, and they are going in the right direction. Okay? Anyways, that's it for now. I'm out.